I'm Sarai.
And I'm Haley.
And this is Seamwork Radio. Welcome back to Seamwork Radio, where we share practical ideas for building a creative process so you can sew with intention and joy. And today we've got a special sewing roundup episode for you where we talk about the things we're making, what we're excited about, what new things we're trying, and answer some questions. All right, so we're going to start with a question that we get kind of often in different forms about our process of creating patterns. So we get a lot of different questions about this process. And we thought we would talk about something that people might not realize about the process of creating sewing patterns. So what is something that is really surprising to people when they learn about it when it comes to making sewing patterns? So what do you think is something that's surprising to people about it, Haley, since you're intimately involved with that process?
Yes. I think that the thing that surprises folks the most when they learn about our process is how far in advance we work on our product, which we have many products, but in this case, the patterns. I think that because we put forth 2 new patterns every month, people think that the April releases are worked on in March. And we do work on them in the month leading up to, but we start working on our patterns up to a year in advance. That's when the concepting and design process begins. And there's a whole process that goes into that of like developing the idea and coming up with the best version of it. And then from there, shortly thereafter, our pattern team begins developing the pattern, and that goes through fit prototyping. We also work on the construction prototyping. And because the pattern has to pass through so many different sets of hands, goes through 2 separate editing processes outside of the internal editing processes that we have. We are working on a half a dozen patterns at least at a time, just because they're all in different phases. So like right now, as we speak, we're recording this in the end of January, and I am working on wrapping up the designs for next winter, and we are wrapping up the fit prototyping of our summer patterns and beginning to move into fall. So it's just a lot of plates in the air, and it takes a lot of people and a lot of advanced planning.
Yeah, quite a lot, which the pattern team is amazing at.
Yeah.
I mean, they do a great job of keeping everything moving along and on schedule.
Yeah, it's, I think that's the thing that surprises people the most.
Yeah. We were talking about it before, and it's sort of like a magazine. If you think about creating a magazine where you wouldn't expect that a magazine is completely written and art directed and photographed and everything within a month just because it comes out once a month. And it's the same with our patterns. They take, up to a year, like Haley said. And it's a lot of moving parts that go into it to make it perfect.
Yeah. It's sometimes, people will ask us like, how do you do it? How do you put out, especially I think like peer-to-peer in this industry. And I think that's the secret sauce is being so far in advance and also having just such a phenomenal team working on the project.
Yeah. And really being organized with the schedule and making sure that, we have processes in place and things go through the right checks and balances and all that.
Yep. Hella spreadsheets.
Yeah. Yeah. Spreadsheets and task boards and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. If you're like me, it's fun stuff. I love it.
All right. Well, if you have any questions for us, either about our process, about pattern making, something for the team, maybe for a different member of the team, or just a question about sewing, you can leave it for us in a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or in a comment on Spotify, and we'll try to answer that in a future episode. So we would love to hear your own questions, and we can cover them. All right.
All right. I think now it's time for us to play a game of What Would You Sew? So, Sarai, if you were making a spring jacket right now, what would you sew?
Oh, that's a great question. Okay, so in the spring, I really love a short jacket and I really like kind of a workwear style jacket in the spring. That's a lot of what I wear in the
Mm-hmm.
spring when it starts, especially when it starts to warm up. I have a ret jacket that I wear quite a bit that's in a bull denim, like a natural bull denim. So it's like a cream color. And I absolutely love it. But I would like a longer kind of chore coat type thing. So I think I might make the Seamwork Parker, which I've always loved that chore coat, and I think it would be so amazing in like maybe a dark denim because that's something that I really enjoy wearing, and it goes with so many different things. And I just love denim in spring. I think denim works really, really well in spring and goes really well with a lot of the more springtime colors. So
Yeah.
I think that's what I would go for. And maybe do like a contrasting collar, like a corduroy collar or something like that on it. I just love the way that looks on a chore jacket.
Yeah, I have something like that cut out. I've had something like that cut out for like a year. I need to finish it.
Yeah.
It's an ivory denim with
Mm.
like a chartreusey olive corduroy collar.
Ooh, that sounds really cool.
And I also did the contrast inner cuff. So when you like flip it up, you get a little
Ooh,
contrast
I
there.
love that idea. I think olive is another really great color for a
Mhm.
spring jacket. It goes with so many different things.
It does. I went with like a more like vibrant chartreusey olive because I thought it would provide a nice like contrast to all of the denim that I wear.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like a lot of denim on denim, and I'm like, I
Mhm.
gotta break it up here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aside from that project that I definitely need to finish, I think that something that's on my radar right now is our Rhoda jacket, which came out in February, and it's like a boxy Chanel kind of styled crop jacket. It's totally lined, and one of my favorite outfit formulas for like when my husband and I get a chance to like go out for a date night is I love wearing a pair of jeans and like a fitted t-shirt and like a cute jacket.
Mhm.
And I have like one cute jacket that I love, but I'm kind of tired of wearing. It's brown, which does not sound cute. No hate to
I love brown.
It's like a brown plaid. It's like very sexy professor. And I'm like, I think I need something a little like more playful for the springtime. So I was thinking that that would be really cute. And I also like how I think the crop silhouette would work really great with like skirts or dresses as well.
Yeah, I like that idea. I have a vintage sweater jacket that is in that kind of Chanel style,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a really, really thick knit, and it's like white with black, kind of a window pane plaid on it,
Oh, cute.
and it's sort of a boucle texture, but it's knit, so it's stretchy. And I think something like that would actually be really cute.
Yeah, one of the photo samples, which by now people have seen, is like an bright olive, like martini olive green in a boucle. And it's really, really lovely. And I was eyeing some similar fabrics on Mood recently.
Boucle is such a nice choice for a spring jacket. I
Yeah.
love that idea of doing a boucle. Yeah. There's so many good options for that jacket.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I also have some things on my Pinterest board that are like quilted denims that are in a similar shape, which I think is a very cool like dressed down version that I could see looking really good with like white jeans and a black t-shirt.
Yeah, that would be really nice. I like that idea of a jacket, of kind of a fancier or cute jacket, like a statement sort of jacket over a very simple outfit.
Yeah, it makes it like, I feel like it matches my comfort level of like how I like to present myself, but then gives it a little something.
Yeah, a little extra pizzazz.
Yeah, you need it sometimes, right?
Yeah, definitely. Well, what are you sewing right now, and what are you planning to sew next?
Okay, so I'm between projects right now, but before we started recording this, I was in the sample rack trying on some of the fit approved samples. And we have some stuff coming out in the summer that is in my pipeline, specifically a knit top and a really cute woven dress that I just bought the fabric from Blackbird.
Ooh.
It's brown. Brown is my theme right now. It's a block print fabric with a brown background and then these really pretty kind of like lilac colored flowers.
Ooh.
I'll show you after this. It's very cute.
That sounds really nice.
So those are the two things that I will be sewing next. Probably the knit top first.
Mm-hmm. I love that. That sounds really cool.
What about you? What are you making?
Well, I just finished the dress that I'm wearing today, so you can see it. I took the skipper pattern, the Seamwork skipper pattern, which is kind of a pretty simple like sweatshirt with a big chest patch pocket, and I turned it into a dress. So I lengthened it a little bit and made it into a dress, and then I used a really pretty fleece back knit that I had in my stash, which is like this. It's a color I don't wear very much. It's like a raisin purple plum.
It's pretty.
Yeah, very dark, but kind of purpley, and I don't usually wear a lot of purple. And I really love it. And the fabric is really like plush and soft. And then I had this matching quilted knit fabric, which I don't know if I bought them together or separately or what, but it's like the exact same shade. So I used that for the patch pocket and I used that for the cuffs and for the hemband. And it came out so well. And I really like the color on me. And I really just like, it's really, really just a comfy dress to wear with tights and boots when it's cold. So I'm really into it, and I just love making sweater dresses. I think they're just such a comfy wardrobe staple for me.
Yeah, it's one of your signatures, I would say.
Yeah, it's just comfortable and it looks nice. So I'm all about things that are comfortable and look nice. So that's what I just finished. And yesterday I went into the sewing shed and I just cleaned up all the little bits of fabric that are everywhere from it. So I'm ready for my next project, which is I'm going to make a Hansi tee next, and then all this stuff will be on YouTube if you guys want to see it, but I'm starting to think more about my spring projects. And what I'm really excited to sew right now are some dresses. I really want to make some nice print dresses for spring. That's something I really like to wear in the spring. Just throw on a print dress, maybe with tights if it's cold, with flats or boots and a sweater over the top. I think it's a really nice, versatile kind of piece to have in my wardrobe. And it's kind of part of it's like one of my signature things that I like to wear. So I'm really excited about that. I want to try and make like 2 dresses this spring, I think. And I have some fabrics that have been in my stash. I'd really like to use fabrics I already have if possible. I have some vintage fabrics that are really beautiful, but I don't know if I can bring myself to cut into them. So I'm going to think about that. But I also have this rayon challis that I bought I think I got it from Style Maker, who has a really great selection of rayon challis if you guys like prints. And it's like a burgundy. I think I got it from Style Maker. It's like a burgundy and it has kind of orangey red roses all over it. It's real pretty. And I think it's a nice transitional sort of print between winter and spring. So I'd like to try and use that one. And I'm just generally kind of into those colors and tones right now, those like dark reds and purpley colors. So I'm excited about that.
I feel like purple's having a moment. I'm not like a purple girl, but I feel like I'm really seeing a lot more variety in the shades available. So that's a trend I'm keeping my eye on.
Yeah, I like purple. I mean, I like some shades of purple. I think it gets kind of a bad rap.
Yeah.
Because I think that like bright wizard purple is not.
I was going to say wizard purple
is not my favorite.
I love a lilac color. That's like my favorite. And I'm like really feeling it right now. My nails are painted that color too. Let's talk about something new that you're trying lately. Anything new you're trying lately?
Well, one thing that I am trying to do this month is I am trying to get rid of one thing from my home every day this month, my home or my closet. And I'm doing okay at it. There have been days where I have forgotten, and sometimes I get rid of more than one thing, so I kind of make up for it a little bit. But the reason I'm doing this is, first of all, to declutter. I mean, it's just, to me, it's a more manageable way to declutter than trying to do it all at once. It's just like picking one thing out every day. But I think the bigger reason for me is just trying to get myself into the mental habit of noticing what I use and what I don't use, because I think a lot of the time I will start to just it'll just become part of the background and I won't even notice the things around me anymore, even if I don't use them. So it's really helping me to do that, to just like question things a little bit more. And when I see something just sitting there, I'm like, wait, I don't use that. I can get rid of that today. Then I do it and I just get more into the habit of it. And it just is really helping me to pay more attention. I also notice certain things that I'm finding a lot easier to get rid of than other things. Books I find pretty easy. Like I have a lot of books that I've accumulated over time and I don't mind getting rid of them. I mostly read, library books anyway, so it's not really important to me to own all the books that I like. So that's been a pretty easy thing to get rid of. I find it really hard to get rid of clothing though. It's just, I go through my closet. I'm like, I have way too much clothing. I do not need all this clothing. But then when it comes to each individual thing, I'm like, but I like this and I like this and I like this and I made this. So I think that's just something that's interesting to note and think about why that is. And maybe there's some things to unpack there or just like questions to ask myself about it, because when I look at it on the whole, I'm like, this is way too much. I do not want all this or need all of this. And then I just find it so hard to part with each individual thing.
Yeah, it's interesting the emotional weight that certain things carry for us,
Yeah. And I've also just been thinking generally about not minimalism, but about I want my life and my surroundings to reflect my internal state. I think they do most of the time. And sometimes things get messy. And I feel like if I can clean up the mess, it's not going to obviously solve all the mess that goes on inside, but I think it can help to put you in the right frame of mind for, decluttering your brain a little bit.
Yeah.
So I do think it's worth questioning why I feel the need for this stuff or why I want more stuff, So that's another thing I think about decluttering, is that it really helps me to think about accumulating less, because I don't want to reclutter all the decluttering I've done.
Yeah, totally. It has a good way of doing that.
Yeah. So that's my practice for the month. It's going okay. It's not perfect, but it's helping me to learn something. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Something new that I have been playing with lately is I'm beginning to think about my spring sewing right now. I'm in like the mood boarding kind of phase. And I decided that for spring, I want to set a little bit more of a challenge around my wardrobe planning instead of sometimes, I go with like a visual theme, most of the time. But this time I want to challenge myself to sew with some more prints. I'd like to find more tried and true prints. I'm like a very stripes girl, the occasional floral. But I feel like other than stripes, haven't like found like a signature print that I love. And spring and summer are such great times, I think, to play with some more like printed fabrics. And so that's something new that I'm going to be trying. I'm very excited about polka dots at the moment.
Oh, I love polka dots.
I just bought a bunch of polka dotted fabric.
What color? Black and white?
It's black. It's from Blackbird. I placed a Blackbird order a couple weeks ago. It's black. And then the dots are, on the website, they called it cumin. They're like a nice tan color, beigey tan color. So I'm very excited about that.
That sounds nice. I've been looking for like a pin dot fabric for like, especially with a lighter background, like a cream or an ivory background with like very small and spaced apart black dots.
This is the thing. The spacing on the dots is very hard to find something that I find satisfactory.
Yeah.
And I'm just always looking for the Pretty Woman polka dot, the brown polka dot.
Yeah. That's hard to find.
It is hard to find.
Mhm.
It's like a brown and cream polka dot. So the search continues for that.
Yeah.
There I go with brown again. So that's something new that I'm trying in this moment. It's just like playing a little bit more with print. I think sometimes we get so wrapped up in like the, or at least I do, and like building a wardrobe that has like, versatility and practical things that sometimes you have to like, right now I'm taking a pause to like insert a little bit of personality back in. The last year I worked on adding more color.
Mm-hmm.
And now I feel like it's time for some prints.
Yeah. I like that. That's really cool. I mean, I don't think there's anything boring about brown either. I like brown quite a lot.
There's nothing boring about brown, but it's definitely a theme that's coming up for me today.
Yeah. I've been thinking about brown. I wear a lot of black, and I had somebody on YouTube tell me that I don't look good in black. So a YouTube commenter. It's always nice when the YouTube commenters tell me what I do and don't look good in. That's always a nice boost to my self-esteem. But I don't really care. I don't care if I look good in black or not. I enjoy wearing it. But it has made me think. I have been thinking about how much black is in my wardrobe generally, and that there are other colors that I also like that I would like to incorporate as like my dark neutral. And I think dark brown is one of them that I really, really like how I feel in it. So I've been thinking about that.
Yeah, I think warm colors really suit you. I think you should continue wearing black, though. I like the color theory stuff as like, I like to know like what my great colors are. So if I need to like take a headshot or something, I'm going to a wedding, I want to look fabulous. But I don't like following anything as like that's super strict and restricts me from doing things because I don't like that. Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, I feel that way too. And actually somebody else on YouTube said I do look good in black. They weren't arguing with each other. This was a totally separate video, I think. So, it's all in the eye of the beholder.
I think so, yeah. Very subjective.
And if you feel good in it, it doesn't really matter. So I just thought it was funny. I get it. You put yourself out there, people are gonna share their opinions. That's totally fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say that people have said worse. So
oh yeah. If you're probably a human, but especially a woman, then people are gonna have their opinions about how you look. Okay. Well, what is something that you want to recommend to people? So we could share like a book or a podcast or an article, whatever, something helpful. What's something that you want to recommend?
I'm going to recommend a practice. And this is like very similar to what your something new was, but I have given myself the challenge for the month of January to spend 30 minutes organizing every day. 20 to 30 minutes. I'm not like super strict with the time of it. And the idea came to me because I felt like, the holidays, there's lots of gifting. There's like a lot of focus on like, gaining things. And sometimes I think it can be kind of hard to like kick yourself out of that mentality.
Yeah.
Where you're just like pursuing more and more and more. And I also became just like overwhelmed by the stuff. So I decided that I was going to just take the month of January and try not to like buy a lot of stuff, although I didn't place like a strict rule on myself for that, and to spend 30 minutes a day organizing. I think a lot of the times time constraints can really get in the way of projects like organizing, which feel like really daunting. But I decided like I don't need to do my entire closet in one day. I can just do like one bin in my closet, or I can just do jeans or whatever.
Yeah.
And the amount of progress that I have made in the last 20 days is so crazy. And I feel like the productivity of it has really like trickled into other areas of my life, which has been really nice. And I think that a big takeaway that I have like so far is that I want my belongings to make my life easier. And when you get to a place where you have like so much stuff that it becomes a burden, it becomes an obstacle in your everyday life, like I think that requires a little bit of reflection. I consider myself a fairly minimalist person in the first place. But it's been so wonderful. I love it. And I highly recommend it. And I think I just like recommend the practice of like small chunks at a time for anything.
Yeah, me too. I find that that has been one of the most helpful things I've learned over the last few years is that I think sometimes we can, well, kind of like you're saying, it can be so daunting to think about these big projects. And I have to remind myself constantly that I can do just a little bit at a time. I can do just a small chunk of it. I don't have to finish everything. It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't have to like get to the end point immediately.
Right.
That it can just be a little piece of it for today.
Yeah. I think we just get like stuck on the act of like completing something that it like gets in the way of the starting part.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that applies to creative things as well. I think it can really hinder your creativity if you feel like you need to A, make it perfect, and B, have the finished object as soon as possible. Then that can be a real hindrance. Yeah, that's a really great lesson. Well, okay, so I was really stuck on something to recommend because I have so many things I would like to recommend to people. So I'm gonna do two different directions here. First one for something light. I have been watching The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel on Amazon Prime, and I would want to recommend that to people even just for the costumes and the sets. I think it's so beautiful. I think especially the colors that they choose for the clothing are really inspiring. So if you're somebody who either wants to incorporate more color or just enjoys looking at colorful costumes, I think it's gorgeous. So it takes place in the late 50s, or it starts in the late 50s in New York. In the season I'm watching, there's also some scenes, they go to Paris. And so you get to see a lot of that. And it's just really, really beautiful. She wears a lot of like these really beautiful deep berry tones and pinks. And I just think those colors are really inspiring me right now for spring. So I'm really thinking about like a palette of berry and pink and browns together, maybe with some cream. And I just think it's really beautiful. And then there's a lot of really beautiful shades of blue and green too. It's just gorgeous. The show might not be for everybody. I think it's really cute and fun to watch. It's definitely not serious like something like Mad Men is. It's definitely more of a lightweight show, but it's fun to watch. I think the writer or director was a writer on Gilmore Girls. I never watched Gilmore Girls, but I understand that very stylized writing, like very a lot of very quick lines and things like that. So anyway, that's one thing I would want to recommend. The other thing that is been really helpful for me lately, I reread the book Writing Down the Bones by Natalie Goldberg, which I read many years ago, and I decided to reread. And if you're a writer or an aspiring writer or just somebody who likes to journal, I would recommend this book. I found it really life-changing the first time I read it, and I found it really, really useful the second time I read it as well. She talks a lot about writing process, about writing notes, basically filling up notebooks, about trusting your instincts when it comes to writing, and allowing your first thoughts to come out and not filtering yourself, which I find just really extremely helpful, and just processing things through the act of writing, which is something that I'm trying to do more and more of. And it's been, I think it's a wonderful lifelong journey to be on, and can really help you to both document your life, and really solidify your memories and what you're thinking and who you are at any particular time. And then also sometimes you can share that with other people. you might choose to share it or you might not choose to share it, but I still think writing is a really helpful practice no matter what you do with it. If you're a journaler, then I think that it can be really helpful for that too. So that's something I would love to recommend to people if you're interested in that at all. And again, it's called Writing Down the Bones. It's a pretty famous book about writing that was written in the 1980s by writing teacher Natalie Goldberg. All right. Well, let's talk really quick about what's new at Seamwork this month before we wrap up. We've got some new patterns that we want to talk about. The first one is Posy. I am so excited about this. So I mentioned I'm going to be making some print dresses. This is definitely going to be one of them. It's a woven surplice dress, and it has a short A-line skirt. So it's got that fitted surplice bodice with the bust and waist starts. It's got short sleeves. The front bodice is lined, which I really, really like. I have a wrap dress that has this where the front bodice is lined, and I really like that feature of it. Also helps with any kind of sheerness in the fabric. So I'm really excited about that. And then it is finished at the neckline with bias tape, which is another detail that I really like. It's just got some really beautiful details. It's great for woven fabrics like linen or chambray. You could do like a Swiss dot or a lawn, or I'm doing it in a challis probably. So there's lots of different things you could use for it that I think are really great for this time of year. And then the other one we have is Thistle, which is a boxy cardigan that has a flat lay collar. So this is more straight through the body, and it's got a semi-fitted sleeve, which is finished with a cuff. And then it's got that really beautiful flat lay collar, which personally I think is really a fun detail for adding any kind of embellishment or doing like a contrast collar, or you could do like a lace overlay on the collar. There's just so many things you can do with a collar like this. So I'm really excited to make this one as well. This one is for a medium weight knit fabric. You want something with a bit of stretch, so you want at least 20% stretch for this. You could do French terry, or a sweatshirt fleece, or a quilted knit, or a double knit of some kind, or a sweater knit. I've seen some really beautiful kind of boiled wool sweater knits lately, so that's what I'm thinking about doing mine in. Got to figure out the collar situation so it's not too bulky, but I think that would be really, really pretty. So those are some of our new patterns that you can check out on the Seamwork website. If you're a Seamwork member, you get access to those patterns immediately and for free as part of your membership. And if you're not a member, go and check them out because you get access to those as well as our entire library of over 250 sewing patterns. So lots to choose from. And then this week on YouTube, we've got a video that's a whole bunch of ideas for sewing your own spring cardigan, and we're featuring that new thistle pattern. So if you're interested in making a cardigan, you can watch that video and get a whole bunch of ideas for details you can add to it, ways you could sew it, things you can kind of mix it up with. And if you want to do the thistle, you can do that. If you want to do a different cardigan pattern, you'll take away a lot of ideas for whatever cardigan you want to make. And if you are interested in making a cardigan, be sure to check out my other video that goes over how to sew your first cardigan in just 10 easy steps. And that one features the fig cardigan, which I've made now a couple times and is a really beautiful, sleek cardigan. So that'll help you with your cardigan sewing. And then our last skills workshop that we did, which is now available for purchase if you're interested, is on advanced buttonholes. And our upcoming workshop is on pin tucks. So this is a really fun detail that you can learn to do and use on so many garments, like our bloom blouse, which actually has them built into the pattern, but you can also add them to a lot of different patterns. So if you're interested in learning all about pin tucks and how to create them, then you might want to sign up for a membership and participate in this workshop with Erica. All right. Well, that's it for us this week, I think. If you like this episode, you can leave us a review. We would love to hear from you. We love reading your reviews and just hearing what you guys think. You can leave a review on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, and it really, really helps us. It helps other people to find the show, and we really appreciate every review that you leave. You can also follow us on YouTube at Seamwork Video. I mentioned a couple of videos we have. There's lots more over on our channel if you want to follow us over there, and I also post all my projects there. You can follow us on on Instagram at Seamwork. And if you'd like to become part of the Seamwork community, head over to seamwork.com to learn how to join and all of the many member benefits. All right, well, that's it for us this week. I'm Sarai.
And I'm Haley.
And this is Seamwork Radio.